Okay, good evening, people. My name is Adolfo Mayor, and we are here to develop the PLD activity. We are the group 7, and I'm the first participant. I use the tool Copilot, and my prompt was as personality assessment such as MBTI, Big 5, DISC, or Hogan are being used widely in organizational settings to support hiring, leadership, development, and team effectiveness. Following a deep and meaningful analysis, what are the advantages and disadvantages of use these kind of tools? The output delivered for the AI tool was that kind of tool translate personality in something usable or handling for organizations that use them to hire people and predicting behavior for specific roles inside the organization. The key distinctions about these tools are the MBTA and DISC tools are very understandable and easy to use, but they oversimplify human personality or human traits. And on the other hand, Big Five and Hogan are very strong and predictive, but they require experts to analyze the results. The main advantages about the use of these tools that include scalability in HR processes, creating a shared language between organizations. But the dark side about using them is that they oversimplify human complexity and are prone to cultural biases and the false sense of objectivity because they show numbers and statistics that sometimes the users can feel very confident and usable, and but they are reflecting something that is not the truth. I'm very agreed with this approach because the main good thing about them is that they can make easier the job for HR components inside organization because they can process large amounts of data very quickly. But the human being is very complex. These tools, also these tools were created in Western culture, so the applicability or they are not very useful to Asians or Occidental cultures. And because they also have very specific categories to fit the personalities, they sometimes ignore important skills like empathy and nursing. And so they are very useful for me, but they has to be used as complementary tools, and they are not roadmaps. They are not the last word. They are complements. So the professionals need to be very aware about how to use the information that they delivered. Another insightful fact that I want to share is that surveys in Canadian showed that about 40 to 42% of employees that currently have job, they are seeking for another uh, job position. That means that in here in Canada, these kind of tools are what they use, but they are not very successful to predict the best person for one job position. That's all for me. Now it's the turn of Ife. You are mute.
Yeah, sorry for that. Yeah. So for me, good evening once again, guys. This is Ife Odua. My AI prompt, to start with, the AI prompt, the AI I used was Cloud AI, and the prompt is MBTI Big Five, DISC, and Hogan, personality assessments are increasingly used in organizational settings to support hiring, leadership, development, and team effectiveness. From your evaluation, would you say this process genuinely improves performance and collaboration, or they are overused and misinterpreted? I want evidence-based research on whether this assessment improves performance and collaboration. So, what the response I got from Cloud AI was that these are widely used, right? But the success rate in terms of job performance when HR actually use these tools, what they get, in real life situation is that 30% of for the big five model specifically, the success rate is around 30%, and other ones, for example, the MBTI is not really reliable because it has about 75% unreliability test, because when you do the test again, you get a different result, you get a higher result. So conclusively, I think these tools should not be used for critical hiring decisions, but rather for self-awareness and team discussions, as their insights, as their organizational use, uh, far exceeds their actual predictive power. Thank you very much.
Hi. So I use ChatGPT for my research, and this is my AI prompt. These personality assessment tools, such as MBTI, Big Five, DISC, and Organ, are used in organizational settings to support their hiring process, but are controversial due to their effectiveness in improving performance and teamwork. Are they reliable or not in the hiring process? So, my answer was, or my insight is that personality tests like Big Five, MBTI, DISC, and Organ are actually used often in the hiring and team building process, but note that Big Five and Organ are more accurate and backed up by research. So they give more useful insights into how well someone might do in a job. But on the other hand, where we have DISC and MBTI, they are better for improving teamwork and shouldn't be used for making hiring decisions, since they are not strongly supported by research. In essence, they should be used as a support but not a replacement for a comprehensive selection process. So personally, I agree to an extent what my prompt gave me, but I don't believe that personality tests should alone be used in the hiring process, because MBTI and DISC do not match OBHR standards. And one of the two standards is that it should be valid, and it should be fair, and it should also be research based, which both aren't. But the Big Five and the Hogan are research based, and they can be reliable but should not be solely used. So, yes, that's my take on my research.
Hello guys. Um, so I used Gemini for my research, and my prompt was my prompt was I asked Gemini to judge the worthiness of carrying out personality tests such as MBTI, Big Five, DISC, and Hogan at workplaces. And I told most companies are doing this for the hiring and leadership and the growth in team performance. And I concluded by asking Gemini if they truly they truly perform and enhance collaboration, ensuring, and there's some of the disadvantages of using, the MBTI and the other ones. So according to my conclusion, my summary, I think it is the same as all of yours. They told me that the Big Five and Hogan, they are best used for hiring, leadership and development, and predicting job performance. The risk and misuse when it comes to Big Five and Hogan, it has lower risk when used by trained professionals and treated as one data point. In the case of MBTI and risk, it is used mainly for team building, improving and communication, and self-awareness. The risk was high, especially when used for high-stakes hiring due to low reliability and oversimplification. And then when they became personality tests are performance and collaborate. They enhance performance and collaboration, of course, because you're grouped together in accordance to your personalities. But when they are overused, they tend to give low validity tests like MBTI and are used for high stake decisions like the hiring, promoting. They are used as sole factors instead of just one piece of the puzzle together, and individuals are labeled as stereotypes, limiting the perceived potential and growth opportunities. So yes, thank you.
Hi everyone. I use DeepSeek as my AI tool for this week PLD. And what I wrote, like my prompt to DeepSeek was do personality tests like MBTI, Big Five, DISC really help managers to understand employees better, or do they just create labels that actually limit the people growth? So what I get from insights that from DeepSeek, they said, like DeepSeek said that tests can help managers understand different work styles and improve teamwork. It also increase the self-awareness as well, so people know their own strength and weakness. But they want that companies should not depend like too much on them, so that it can cause labeling or unfair judgments, because people can change, right? It's suggested that use them only as a guide. We can't be fully contribute to the test, right? And not the only way to measure someone ability. So, what I feel and what's my reflection is, I agree that the personality tests are useful. Somehow, it's up to certain extent they are useful for teamwork and communication. But I also think that they shouldn't decide someone's worth. Like people can change and learn new skills according to their age as well. As my own experience, I worked in a ABB Logistic, that is a trucking company. My team members had very different personalities. Some were very fast, loud, some are quiet, calm. And understanding those different people helped us to avoid the conflicts and divide the work together according to the uh, work tasks what we are. So these tests can help, but manager should focus on more real behavior and performance, not just the real test. Yeah, thank you.
So now we have to discuss. Everyone, turn on your mics. So,
Perfect. Go ahead. Go ahead. Well,
I feel like we all have similar inputs, but based on what everybody has said, what do you think is different? Like, who has said something different today?
no, I think that the old information is very similar. Uh, uh, Two of the four tools are uh, more useful for team coaching or something like that. That is MBTA and the DISC, that they are like more uh, light tools. And the Big Five and Hogan are very strong and can be very helpful in hiring processes. but it's the same for all of us that conclude that they are supporting tools. They cannot lead all the hiring processes or the whole strategy about HR tax, because this is very dangerous, because can create labeling or can be very prone to biases. So the information is very, very similar for all of us, I think.
Ife,
Yeah.
you have something to say?
Yes. Thank you once again, everyone. So yeah, that was a beautiful input from all of us. But to support what Pawani said, people can change, right? People, it can be anything you put your mind to, like the common code. But then there is something called, she mentioned something about behavior is dynamic. Anybody
Yeah.
can, it can be anything at whatever point in time. I believe that usually people are something they are because of what they want to get. Some people don't think it's normal, or some people don't believe in that. But I believe that to succeed in life, you need to exhibit certain characteristics at one point of a life. So being an introvert, just to wrap, being an introvert will not get you some certain things, right? But
Mm-hmm.
but when you need to be an extrovert, you need to be an extrovert. When you need to be an introvert, you be an introvert. So it just depends on the situation. So thank you.
I also have something to add on that, on why I don't think either of these tools should even be used solely for the hiring process, because you can adapt in a job. If you come in and let's say you are in a particular personality trait, let's say you don't really have discipline, some of these tools pick out conscientiousness as a trait. Even if you're not like that in the beginning of the job, when you start the job and you love where you are, you become motivated. So sometimes people are internally driven rather than externally. They get to an environment where they can thrive, they end up thriving and doing surprisingly well at that role. So that's also something like a real life experience, because I've been in that position where I did a test and I wasn't that good, but I still got the role. And when I got in the job, I adapted and I ended up doing pretty well at the role. So that's how personality is never stable.
True.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah,
Mhm.
personality test actually, to be like from all the overview, personality tests are good tools actually, but when we use with actual the like human understanding, not as such like a particular label that if
Mm-hmm.
person is passing this, like we should like communicate with the human understanding as well. So yeah, that's all.
So Pawani, I mean, sorry, Imelda, I think your turn. You
Yeah,
have
yeah.
yeah.
So when I was doing my research, I told my prompt to give me a short story or a short case study for DISC, and I just wanted it to share it with you. So it
Okay.
showed that a software developer used DIS DISC assessment to understand the workflow of a newly formed project team. The
Okay.
results showed that the team had many members with D. D, remember, is dominance, meaning that they were direct, driven, and focused on results. But as a few had S, which is steadiness, members who were more collaborative and process oriented. So the problem in the first meeting, the D types often cut off the F. So the direct ones, the dominant always cut off the steady ones and quickly jumped to make decisions, making S members feel unheard. So the solution, the team leaders reviewed the results with everyone and implemented a change for important decision. They would first have to dedicate information sharing time where the S members were explicitly asked to speak first, ensuring their insights on process Yeah. So I'm sure we've all had experiences of Ds and
Yes.
S's in our lives. Yeah.
Yeah.
So even in work, in future as managers, we should we should make sure that the the S's and the C's are had. Don't give the D's all the opportunities to dominate.
I'm laughing because I'm a high D. That's why I'm laughing.
Yeah.
High D. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think
Okay,
we're done
guys.
for today.
Yeah,
So I
thank
think
you.
it should be all for today.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
very insightful, but very, very good job for me.
Yeah.
I hope for the professor is going to be the same. So we keep in
Bye.
touch. Bye.
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 Have a good night. Bye bye.
Yeah.